Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check.
I agree with you 100%. You've always been a supporter, so I love that. Oh, good. How you doing? Yeah. I'm sorry, I should have called. You look real nice. Yeah, so you all should be great. You put it with good on, y'all doing the same, hang in there. That's right. Which, that's what we. That's right. That's right. Oh, thank you. Me too. I really am. That's what we do. And that's how we do it. So we can all have a little. That's what. Shut it down. It's time for the bad. Yeah, I think it's fine. You just say no.
No, I
Yep, that's Cobra.
Y'all working good tonight? Yeah. Unity. We just. Just get support. That's all. That's all. Good, I had no. I had no.
Who be say? Well, the card, I had the, we can't find the card, Keisha can't find the card, so she booked this hotel. So I got a new card. Now that's why we're asking I put it on the card.
Yeah, he said it last week he had the car.
Yeah. What you can run it now?
He said, so I just told him, hold on. You gotta run this thing here. Hey, you still at the desk? Hey, tell him yeah. Yeah, he's how you do, sir?
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you, man.
They were trying to charge for all the nights. And they didn't know that the check. I told them that the check, they would have the check. And if not, I'm gonna go get her.
He told me they had the numbers off of
You doing all right?
How you doing? Right. Manager.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Hey, Mayor.
You got
She just walked in and John, I think he's outside.
to
She's here. Yes,
Man.
that's a critical. Yeah, this man.
Okay.
Okay. She crying.
Hey.
And Attorney Perry just came in. I'm gonna send you a copy of it. I mean, a picture of it so you'll have it. It doesn't matter.
Seeing how you doing? I know. That going all right? Yes, I really. How you doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Yeah, at a certain point, it's like my granddad used to say, ain't no such thing. You're in trouble. You find out who really there. You see.
I know.
Okay, I just make sure.
I know.
Yeah.
Now it did say that we can pay a portion of the interest that he owed.
Oh, you got that.
Well, this is the letter that he received, and then
And you just not holding it back, or what was you?
no, when he came on in 2016, he worked full time in 2017. So when he worked full time, the payroll down there at the time didn't put it on his employee payroll team. So for all that time, we wasn't paying in, and the city wasn't paying in. And so what it is now, we have to pay all of that money in until 2023 when it was due.
Yeah. So he's trying to.
So at least $23,000 is what he owed. At least it's what they said.
Do you know the interest of it?
They're saying if you make the payment, the interest will be $7,000. The employee interest will be $7,000.
Okay, all right. And if there's no issue with that.
No, it says paying delinquent employee contributions and any that accrued interest on the obligation of the employee. Or you may especially elect to pay any part, all of the interest.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you. Well, yeah, I know.
Okay.
He always called me, had me on the meeting. I mean, on the phone. But yeah, that was the only one. Though. But y'all had it under control. I know. Oh, yes, sir. But yeah, I know. You doing all right?
That's my fault that I need to pay.
What's going on?
Good evening, everyone. The meeting of the mayor and board of aldermen of the city of Holly Springs is now called to order. We'll have prayer. Chief Crane.
Hold on, Mayor. It's not coming over on the speaker.
Yeah.
The mayor's telephone.
You gonna have to. They might have to do something to cut the volume up. Yeah.
Mic check.
Yeah. They're gonna say something now.
Good evening.
Evening.
The meeting is now called to order. We'll begin with prayer. Chief Crane, will you please lead us in prayer?
Dear Heavenly Father, we come in on this afternoon, Father, asking you to thank you, Father, for all that you've done, all that you're about to do. Father, as you come into this boardroom tonight, yes, the citizens of Holly Springs and our mayor and board of aldermen that discuss issues and problems of the city that needs to go forward, and to see that our citizens and our mayor, as well as our mayor and board, is happy with the decision that's going to be made about what has to happen. We ask you to step forward in this meeting now and take charge, Father. These says in our Father Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Thank you, Chief Crane. Next roll call, please.
Alderman Fountain.
Present.
Alderman Jones. Alderman Shipp. Alderman Teal, absent. Alderman Merriweather, absent. Mayor, you have 3 board members present.
Wonderful. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Prayers for bereaved families, the family of Mr. David Dukes, prayers for the family of Mr. Othello Robinson, and also may we please have a moment for peace. Thank you. Next, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
I move that we adopt the agenda.
One second.
It's been moved by Alderman Shipp, second by Alderman Fountain. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 3 ayes, 2 absent, and Teal and Merriweather. All right, so the first item, motion to authorize transfer of $609 from the general ACH fund to the general operating fund. This is the January 2025 import payment.
I move to authorize, the amount of $609 from the general ACH fund to the general operating fund for our January 2025 import payment.
I'll second that.
Right. It's been moved by Alderman Felton, second by Alderman Ship. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 2 absent, and Teal and Merriweather. Item number 2, motion to authorize payment of $1,900 to the Department of Finance and Administration, January 2025 municipal court assessment.
I move to authorize payment of $1,900 to the Department of Finance and Administration, January 2025 municipal court assessment.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Ship, second by Alderman Felton. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 2 absent, and Teal and Merriweather. All right, next on the agenda, we have, public comment, and let me see, give me a moment.
Yes, sir, Mayor, can we do 4, 5, and 6? Seven.
The first person on the agenda is,
Really quick.
Asking, could we go ahead and do numbers 4, 5, and 6 for public comment?
And 7.
And 7.
Maybe more.
now they were the ones who requested to have public comment at that
Yes,
area.
ma'am, I do understand, but these are just so simple, the motion is just so fast. I was just hoping, in case, I was just hoping we could, in case public comment was long, and the insurance renewal and the other stuff, it's just so.
Well, I think there are only, and I'm trying to see it now, y'all. There are only 3 people who.
Okay.
Forward.
Okay,
But that's fine. If there's the general consensus of those present, that's fine.
but no, ma'am, we can go right along. It's just 3 people.
All right, public comment, Mr. Jim Smith, please come forward and you have, please state your name for the record and you have 3 minutes.
I will. Give me just a second. No foolish stuff.
That's right.
Just a second. All right.
I'll keep my time.
Okay, gotcha.
Jim Smith, by ignoring an issue I brought up with Mr. Wayne Jones, something that wasn't initially a major concern, but unfortunately, because of his delay to address the matter and the passage of time, he's converted something that could have been easily addressed into a life safety issue. The utility pole that facilitates the supply of electrical power to my home is out of plumb so far that the service lines are approximately 8 feet above the ground in my neighbor's yard. They're so low that I went over and spoke to my neighbor and suggested that she move her trampoline. Her grandkids should live with her and use the trampoline, and they can come in contact with the wires. I have a reasonable expectation that Mr. Jones, as the HSUD GM, and as we all know, he's an engineer because he tells us all the time, he should have anticipated this when he met me months ago and saw the field conditions. I just got a couple of questions. Is this now how HSUD is going to be operated? Wait for catastrophic failure or wait for somebody to die? And why do we vote for aldermen? I've brought this issue up at least 4 times. That's 2 months at these meetings. My alderman's not here tonight, but what happens? People raise issues and what, you just, twiddle your thumbs for 3 minutes and nothing happens? I have a telephone pole that's yours that hasn't been replaced in 60 years. It is now at probably a 50-degree angle where it's supposed to be 90. The pole in my neighbor's yard is at about a 50-degree angle. What happens when the poles move this way? The line droops. Number one, it's causing damage to my house because on this side of the pole, it pulls it taut. On the other side of the pole, it's loose. It's 8 feet above the ground. I'm not an electrical engineer, but I do know that, interestingly, my power surges, and so does my neighbor's. She just replaced her HVAC system. This is not a hard, difficult thing. Bring a truck in, put a new pole. You know, they have cyclical maintenance on these poles. Mine's over 60 years old. I know the life cycle of a telephone pole uh, isn't that long. I just don't understand what has to happen for somebody up on this dais to say, Mr. Jones, what the hell is going on? You know, I still have,
3 minutes.
how many?
Right at 3.
I'm at 3. Plus, I got water still coming down on Compress Street for 4 years.
All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. Attorney Perry, was that the timer?
Yes, that was the timer. It was right at 3 minutes.
Okay,
I think.
all right. All right, thank you, Mr. Smith. Next, we have Ms. DeJanette Taylor, Mrs. DeJanette Taylor, Minister DeJanette Taylor.
Reverend.
Please come to the table. You have 3 minutes, and please state your name for the record.
DeJanette Taylor, and I'm here as a concerned citizen about a crematorium being put across the street from my house. I have no problem with Mr. Autry putting a crematorium in Holly Springs. It's the place that concerns me. You know, I've been in Holly Springs all my life. I know how things operate. I know we got the big eyes, no use, just the big eyes. We buy what we want, and it's not right. And I'm about doing what is right. I'm concerned. When this went before the commission, I don't even know how we're here today, because it was settled on that night. And if my recollection served me, Mr. Autry is the one that got up and stormed out saying, just forget it. I can put my building in Pontotoc. Well, I'm a researcher, y'all. That was part of my nursing career. I know for a fact it can't go up in Pontotoc. I know for a fact it had to be removed from Oxford. I know for a fact it cannot be put in New Albany. And it's nothing directed towards Mr. Autry personally. My concern is he's saying that this building, I went through a survey, Harvard, where they did 4 crematoriums. The metal one that he's talking about, putting all 4 sizes. The conclusion, I gave it to you all. But the conclusion say that all the results can be used for health risk assessments in crematoriums. This thing puts off when you cremate and people have fillings in their mouth, implants in their mouth. It puts off mercury. You say your system is not going to put out pollutants. No. You can't burn something and nothing comes back out. It has to vent somewhere. And these are airborne particles. This can cause major birth defects, stillborn babies. Lung cancer is a high risk, among other things. Like I say, it's not an issue with him having a crematorium here. But then we bribe people. We give the church 2 acres of land because the ordinance say that it has to be a cemetery present. But there's no cemetery there yet.
3 minutes.
Okay, all right, thank you, Ms. Taylor. Next, we have Mr. Rick Ramey. Please come forward, state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and Board.
Good evening.
I'm certainly glad to see y'all, hear you on the phone. We are coming to thank you guys, first of all, for completing the fire plug at the end of South Memphis Street. They did get that fire plug replaced, and it looks really good on the corner. There's another fire plug at the end of, in the south of Lemack Street on Center Street that got hit by a lawnmower that has not been replaced. The whole top is broke off of it, and if a fire was to break out in that area, it would take probably half a mile to get water from that in that area. So if we could work on getting that fire plug replaced, I would really appreciate it. There's a large hole that they fixed a water leak on Elder Street. That's right in front of 265 Elder Street. That they fixed the leak, but the hole is eroding, and when you go down that street, the whole street is a large drop off. The citizens in that area have a concern. There's also a major water leak in front of 275 and 285 Elder Street. There's a large water leak on the corner of Briarwood and Chulahoma that is almost turning it into a pond right there because the leak is so bad. There's still a gas leak in the area of McKinney and College Street. There's still a gas leak at the end of Chesterman Street, South Chesterman Street. And there's a gas leak in front of 160 Murray Street that you can smell all over the area. These are just some of the gas leaks that we are still losing gas that we could be selling by evaporating or leaking out into the areas of the, all over the city. There are gas leaks all over the city, and I'm really concerned that we will set ourselves up for a lawsuit or something if we don't attend to these gas leaks by way of someone passing away because of carbon dioxide poisoning from it seeping into their houses, or is it something explodes like we had on Cuba Street some years ago when the house exploded from gas leaks. So this is one pressing issue that I think the board and mayor should take a really serious look at and try to get this rectified early. Again, I appreciate y'all for what has been done. We still got a lot of lights out in the area all over the city that people are calling about. And again, I'm running for Alderman Ward 3. My name is Rick Ramey. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Ramey. Item number 4 is 2025 Oslo insurance renewal. This is for the cities and the utility department vehicles. And Ms. Jones, if you would just share as to what our brokers have brought forth and what that looks like. And
Okay, so this year's quote is for $181,366.19. And the increase is for the new product that we got, and it's gonna be on for the whole year. So that $2 million cost, it increased our overall quote number. So it's $181,366.19, and that is a shared cost with the utility department.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Jones? Ms. Jones, is there anything else that you want to share regarding the insurance?
No, ma'am, that was the only change in the insurance was the addition of that vehicle.
So otherwise, there was no increase, or was there?
No, ma'am, the only other, the utility, Ms. Mason did turn in some vehicles on that side, some that were not on the insurance, but the major increase was our new fire truck.
All right, does anyone else have any other questions regarding the auto insurance renewal? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we renew our 2025 auto insurance.
I'll second.
It's moved by Alderman Shipp, second by Alderman Fairson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 3 ayes, 0 nays, and 2 absent in Teal and Merriweather. All right, item number 5. This is the appeal by Serenity Funeral Home and Mr. Autry. They are appealing the decision from the Planning Commission. They were before us on the last meeting, presented some information, some plans. I believe that Ms. Lewis did place another copy of those in your folders for your review, but you've had an opportunity to call and take a look at those. Alderman Farrington, you had expressed some concerns, and so it's back before you all tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
questions or anything?
Doctor, how you doing? Yeah, he lives there. Right.
Is Mr. There with his team?
And he and Mr. Selden is here.
Okay, all right, well,
Good to see you.
all right, do you all have any questions for, Mr. Archery or Selden or? Let me know your pleasure.
Mr. Arthur, I promised you I was gonna look into it, and I did, and we talked. And I did get some valuable information and very informative information about the crematorium and how it works and, everything about it. So, a lot of people didn't understand and had a problem with us the last meeting about, why we didn't make a decision. We weren't privileged to the information that you all gave the planning commission, and we talked about that. I didn't get a booklet, I didn't get any, EPA regulation, we didn't get any MDQ, we didn't get anything about it. So people thought that we automatically knew all the information that the planning committee had, but we did not. That was the delay. But in that 2 weeks, we have gained some information, I've done some research, and I've talked to the planning commission as well. And also, some citizens of Ward One, and also our fire chief with information that's telling about the crematorium, the machines, and all of that. So I did gain some enlightening information about it. I still had some opposition from residents in Ward One, but I did do what I said I was gonna do, and I am prepared. Any other board member?
What I would like to know is, what actually happened at the planning commission.
A lot of this came pushing on us, but
They,
the planning commission, we didn't
boom,
get
it's just
an
all right.
explanation or only thing we got was that the paperwork wasn't right, but now the paperwork is correct, and they're doing an appeal. So, yes, sir.
If I may, and first of all, I would like to thank the committee for allowing us to be here today. And I see we have, this is the second time, I believe, in which we've had the community involvement. I want to thank those members of the community for being here. And I also want to apologize for my last time in which I was there. I got pretty emotional. So I would like to give a review of why we are here tonight, why we are at this point. Because Ms. Fountain said that she got blindsided. She didn't quite have the information. And that's sort of the way it was for me when I got emotional last time. I didn't realize there would be any opposition or that many opposition because I thought everything we were doing was legal. So I would like to just try and give an update of why we are here tonight. Okay. 23 years ago, when we went into the funeral home business, from year one, we had requests for cremations 23 years ago. Every year, that request would get bigger and bigger. All of our crematory business that we had, we were subbing it out to other businesses. 6 years ago, we decided to do on-site crematory, in which I purchased the crematory, put it in a neighborhood because the funeral home that I bought in Oxford was a house already in the community. So I bought the house. In that crematory, we have $1 million houses next door to it. It's all in the same community. In one part of the crematory, we had the crematory. Other part, we had the businesses, and we have an apartment upstairs. And for 1 year, I lived in the apartment. Okay, now, so several months ago, we decided, since we were having a lot of requests for crematories, several months ago, we decided to relocate or put a crematory in Holly Springs. and I went before and requested for a permit. When I requested for the permit, we learned, although cremations has been here for many years, there is not one place, if anybody owns a crematory in Holly Springs, it is illegal because it is not one place or zone in which you can have a crematory in Holly Springs based upon the ordinance that we currently have. So therefore, we had to go before the planning committee and had to request for a variance. Okay, so that is what we did. We went before the board. When we went before the board, I tried to express to them the necessity of a crematory. I gave them the number of cases in which we had had in the month leading up to that meeting. And there were from 12 to 14 cases that we had had that month. Now, that's not just in Holly Springs, that's all of our locations. We have 12 to 14. Now, and I want to say this too now. Not one complaint, as long as we have had a crematory in Holly Springs, in Oxford, not one complaint have we had from the state. What I'm saying, you don't have to take my word for it. It's a public record. Call the State Board of Mississippi and ask them, have we had any complaint about any crematory that we own? Okay, so we tried to show the need. Now there were some opposition, and I want to share with you the oppositions and what they were, and the reason why we're asking for an appeal is because I don't think they are valid. One, someone said, would you want one in your neighborhood? Billy Archery. Would you want a crematory in your neighborhood? My answer, not only would I want one in my neighborhood, I said that I have had one. I said we had the crematory in one area, we had the funeral home business in the other area, and we had a bedroom upstairs. And I told you that I lived there for a year. So the answer is yes to that question. Another need was we had a business person that came by. This business person operates a motel. And he said that he thought it would be detrimental to his business. Okay, I want to share this one with you. When I went to school at MI College, came to Holly Springs, I lived next door to the motel. Mayor Smith's father. I lived in the house. The cemetery was right down the street from it when I was living there. The motel was packed every night. So to me, that was not valid. It was not valid that a crematory or cemetery is going to affect any business. Another complaint from the community was in which we felt that one wasn't valid. It said it would cause grief. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to say any person, me, you, or anybody, that if you purchase a lot by a cemetery and you're concerned about grief, I don't think that's valid. If you've been living there for all these years with no grief, and all of a sudden, if we put one on the other side of the street, it's going to cause grief. So we didn't think that was valid. That's all. So that's why we're here tonight, because crematory has been around. When we're dead and gone, they're still going to be here. Progress is going to take place, with or without us. So that's why we're asking for the appeal.
Ma'am?
Ms. Pamela, did you receive, the requested plans from Mr. Entree?
The updated plans for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, yes, we
Plans?
did.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And did everyone receive a copy of those plans?
Yes, they have, your copies of your, plans that, was in the folders from the last time, the updated.
Okay, yes. And so do those plans according to, one of the things that make to, the ultimate,
I'm
do
sorry.
those plans requirements, by the state and, the city?
The plans are, well, the plans are not, the site plans are not what needs to be, approved, because they haven't gone before our city, engineer. But the plans are in compliance, but they haven't gone for approval yet. But they are in
Okay.
compliance. This is just for use of this meeting is only for the use of the business. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
But
so
the
what,
plans are, the plans, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so the bill tonight is for, either there to be a motion to approve the variance to allow the Terry, and a crematory to not allow. Is that what happening?
Yes, ma'am. The plans are, yes, ma'am. They can't, they're not at liberty to approve the site plan. They're just at
Okay.
liberty to say
Yeah.
if for the use.
Okay, for the variance, to allow the variance, the variance is a, then it goes here who will look to, that it meets all of the other, legal requirements.
That is correct. From the from MDEQ Environmental Quality, I think there is a, contract, construction application that has to go before, Mississippi Environmental Quality, MDEQ. That application has to go and be approved, and, along with the, site plans to our city engineer. But that MDEQ process has to go through, their construction. And I think
Okay.
that,
Yes, yes, the environmental approval is also orchestrated through the crematorial facility. They will take that portion up for Mr. Archery to make sure all of this approval before he can fire up his crematorium. Mr. Archery do not have the power to start a crematory up without the certification of the crematorium factory.
And not until all the air
Yes.
and everything, that's controlled by the state.
That's
They
controlled
come
by
in
the
and
state.
inspect that before you can open it. So it has to be under certain speculation. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Eldon. So what's before us tonight is a request to approve the variance.
Okay.
to allow the use of the.
To allow the use, thank you, Mrs. Lewis.
Uh-huh.
All right, is a motion to allow, the use, that has been requested by Mr. Archie and Serenity, Funeral Homes.
Gotcha. But, and also, it's planning commission.
Mhm.
Now, this came because of an appeal to the
It did.
planning commission because of paperwork wasn't done correctly. So what happens if his paperwork is now in order and he is had all the things that you're asking us to do? What is the planning commission? What do they do at this point?
The variance just,
The plan, finish everything to be,
Tell me.
voted on, whether it was approved or not. The
Say, Attorney.
the variance just creates the ability to say that you can do it. Right now, it's prohibited, and you in essence outlawed the ability to do that type of business.
Mhm.
And he's saying that if he has a variance, that he or anybody else that has the wherewithal can, for that limited area, be able to do whatever. So that doesn't mean that the building is at the specs that it needs to be, or any of that stuff right now.
Mhm.
You wouldn't want to spend that type of money unless you had the variance, because if you have the variance, you know that you can do you can do it. So that's all that that's the only issue being considered this evening, is whether or not the variance should be granted.
And that should be done by this board or the planning commission.
You can actually do it, or you can send it back. That's up to you, but you can grant the variance yourself right now. Normally, it's a recommendation that comes from the planning commission. That's all the planning commission really, The planning commission is a hand of the board or creation of the board that says, hey, this issue we've looked at, but at any time that you get whatever the recommendation is going to be, you can deny it or you can grant it. It just, it's up to this board and this body legally.
So it would still have to come back before this board, as I mentioned earlier. It would still come back before.
It's got to be approved here. At the ultimate approval is right here.
All right, so is there, in the interest, I guess, of weather, is there a motion to grant the variance?
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, if any other board members have any questions, I don't want to be the only one talking. Because I understand Mrs. Taylor's concern. She also had mentioned when I went around to talk to people about the value of their property and all this, and I understand Mr. Autry's position is trying to bring another business into Holly Springs, that people are using cremation more and more. We've talked about that last time. It's an alternate form of traditional burial. And I know that Mrs. Taylor is concerned about the mercury that's in the air. And I was as well, about the air quality and all of that. But I got with Chief Crane and did some research, because I've been researching too, Mr. Audrey. I've been working on it. And Chief Crane has some information that, may soothe some of the questions or concerns that people have about the air quality, because that was the major concern of this being near homes and near families, that they were concerned about the air quality, they were concerned about the property values, they were concerned if there was gonna be some type of odor or discharge in the air that would cause cancer-causing particles that would be in the air. And I think I did some research and I talked to you about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell everybody.
Okay, everybody listen. So, and talking with the Mississippi DEQ, they've not had one complaint within the state that would say there was an issue with something causing a issue with anybody in the neighborhood. The carcinogens that is said to be out there that could cause a problem for most of them. When most crematories are fired up, they have a set number of temperature that it has to maintain at all times. So therefore, that will immediately burn out real quick and would eliminate any carcinogens with the filtering system that this machine has that allows it to do so. So therefore, that wouldn't be a real big black cloud hanging over the city of Holly Springs and over Miss Taylor's house. She don't want that, nobody else does too. But that's what the device is designed to do, is to eliminate that. So that does not happen with this high Barron's temperature. And it has to maintain that temperature until it's all done. There's no cutback on it, there's no halfway doing it. It has to be fully done at that temperature until it's all complete. So therefore, there's no chemical used, and I understand what Ms. Taylor's saying about the different particles of the body, but there's no chemical used other than natural gas to do this. There's not no gas to be poured on our loved one. There's not no couple logs to stick out of there or barbecue. That ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna have it. I ain't gonna have it. So therefore, there is no chemicals or anything added to on a natural body burn at all.
Question, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Now, how is this dispersed into the air?
It's just like your gas heat at home. If you have a gas stove at home and it's filtered, it's gonna be fumes. Yes. It's gonna burn at that high temp, which it has the filters inside, which it also has the blowers inside. All the fans that they had to come back and do with the plans that y'all didn't see or know before, that building had to be vented. And it had to be vented to where the temperature keeps at a certain level in the building, but not on the system itself. Now, this vent is not to pull the stank out.
It's not to pull what's in there out. It's to keep the temperature cool where it needs to be in order for the machine to operate in. And yes, it has to be on a concrete floor. Yes, it has to be surrounded and not be on nothing that's gonna burn it down. And they have those systems in place. The plans are reviewed and they up the code to what it's supposed to be. That has been taken care of. What y'all didn't see before, didn't have before, was an issue. And I don't blame you for that. But they did come back to Mr. Sell and his crew doing what they had to do to get this thing corrected and get it displayed, which the planning commission didn't have. They did not have it. So therefore, yeah, you're gonna get denied. Understand that. You should expect to get denied when it's not correct. They put it together. They put the pieces together. They got it done. And for the code, for this area right now, it's within that ring. It's within that ring. Therefore, it's like you have grass burning across the street, you have trees burning, you smell that. Yeah, this is supposed to burn a lot hotter than anything and allow that to get going and get going pretty quick. It's not that you're gonna have 10 bodies burning in 5 days. That ain't gonna happen.
There is no stage.
No. Only time you're gonna have that is when a body come in. Yeah, but you have to be right there on. I done flipped and done bodies myself, and yeah, I know what this is like. Trust me. And I understand the concern of citizens in the neighborhood. You don't want that. No, enough. But it's set back far enough where it is that it's not gonna allow it to happen. So when it comes in, they come directly into the system.
And then we have a cooler when you.
And the cooler plus, yeah, now that's coming from the cooler straight in, so you wouldn't get that alone. Now fire station is right across the street. Serenity bring bodies in all the time. Brother has them up there all the time. You know, I told them in there too. Hey, I can tell you about it. And I know what a burn body smells like. Y'all ain't good, but I understand what Ms. Taylor's saying about the chemicals. I'm sure there are ways for things to be removed prior to. Because our citizens want peace. They want to know that they're good. And that's expected. Y'all want to ask no better than that, would you? So therefore, respectfully, system he has is going to be in place. For Mississippi State DEQ. Now, that stuff has been done, true enough, and I'm sure in a lot of areas that it has happened. Until MDEQ comes in and finally do their thing with them, then it's all be, towards the state level, it's it. It's it.
All right, well, thank you, so much, Chief Carney, for sharing your knowledge, regarding the criminal. And so now we go back to, is there a motion to grant the, requested, use?
What did you want to say, Ms. Taylor?
A lot of what Mr. Archery said,
Huh?
a lot of what Mr. Archery said, he was not denied by the commission. He walked and stormed.
So we can't,
But I'm
No,
gonna say,
everybody, that one person at a time. Go ahead.
so essentially, so we're gonna allow this for just 1 minute, Ms. Taylor, based on what's happening here. And then we're going to move forward and let, our aldermen vote it up or down in the interest of the weather.
the reason, a lot of information and the people you contacted concerning crematory, Mississippi has the lowest level in the state of crematories. So therefore, you would not have a lot of information about whether people are gonna complain, whether they're gonna do this, whether they're gonna do that, when you don't have a lot to go on. But my next thing is this. I never said that I didn't want a crematory. I have a cemetery by my house. The value. You're a shrewd businessman. You got a property down on Craft Street. Tore your building down because of the taxes and stuff, but you refused to sell it because of the land. I'm just being honest. Property. And I want my property value to last as
All
well.
right, we have 1 minute, so 1 minute.
at this point, we're gonna move forward.
That's all I'm
Thank
saying.
you so much.
Love your neighbor
Okay,
as
so
yourself.
everybody, attention please. So now, we're gonna go back to what's before our alderman in the interest of the weather, as I mentioned earlier. We're gonna go ahead and move forward. Is there a motion to grant the variance
He's talking to.
for the use?
I think they're calling Mr. Jackson Piggy.
I just would like to hear from the planning.
Well, good evening, Mr. Archer, and everybody to the board, mayor, good evening. I was just asked to come up here because I co-chaired that meeting that night. And it wasn't about so much a crematorium. Nobody was against it. The thing was, you, agreed to just deny it. Because you withdrew your variance. He withdrew his variance that night. That night, he withdrew his variance. The pastor was there. He was there with him. And that night, the citizens were here. I think we have a list of all the citizens. Am I correct? Yes. We had a list of all the citizens. All the citizens had an opportunity to talk and explain themselves and explain why they did not want a crematorium. Not that they did not want a crematorium. They just did not want it next to the guy that owned the hotel next to. He was here. And they just said they were not against the crematorium. They just did not want it in their area. I think it was mentioned a few minutes ago, we talked about grief. Nobody know what grief feel like. We can sit here and say, it was grief, but that's not right. How can you grieve? But nobody know what grief feel like. But to make a long story short, Mayor, the thing what it was, they just did not want it in the area. It wasn't about EPA regulation. It wasn't about his site plans. They did not want it. And then at the end, he agreed. So I'm just.
Sir, okay, sir, Mr. P, I changed my mind.
Let's understand. I'm just going off what happened that
That's
night.
what happened, I changed.
I'm going off that night. You said and I'm good. They just asked me to come up and talk.
Let's keep it civil. Let's keep it civil.
Order in the boardroom.
We got it.
This ends the comment section.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, this matter is before the alderman. And so, please let us know your pleasure, whether you wish to do a motion to grant the use. Based on what you have said.
So would our motion be valid if it was withdrawn? Are we still in legal to make a motion?
It wasn't just withdrawn. At that meeting, they later received that they voted on it that night, as Ms. Lewis can testify to, if that was necessary. But they actually did vote. It was denied. Mr. Autry has appealed. Even if it goes back to them, as Attorney Perry said earlier, it only comes back as a recommendation and it still has to come before us in another meeting. And so what is, since we've had, everyone has come out at least to 2 or 3 meetings. And so what is your pleasure tonight?
I didn't hear your question.
What is the pleasure tonight? Do you wish to move forward with granting or denying the variance? Even if it goes back to the planning board did vote that night, even though Mr. Autry did offer to withdraw it, it was voted on, it was denied. He appealed, which was his right to do, and it is now before us. And so now I'm asking what your pleasure is tonight, because even to put it back, which I'm not even sure if that would be legally appropriate because it was denied, it has been appealed. So now the question is, what is your pleasure tonight? Wish to do a motion to grant the use? Is there a motion?
Is it possible that we could face legal issues if this crematory is denied? And I'm almost certain that I know the answer to that question is yes.
Yes.
Simply because everything that has been done to this point on behalf of Mr. Autry in the funeral home, it has been legal. And so I understand the concerns, from the, the citizens in regards to the environmental issues. And Chief, chiming in and giving us a little bit more enlightenment on this kind of eases the situation in regards to the environmental issues, even at the state level. Has to go through, test the air quality and do all of these different things in order to make it permissible for him to be able to even bring a crematory to the area in that particular location. And my main concern was the environmental thing and whether we could face legal issues if we were to deny a business from coming. And the reason the environmental thing was very important because though environmental, it has to be research driven and it has to be realistic. Not saying there's data, but again, it's in very small portion for it to be realistic. If we had crematories in areas and it causing all type of illnesses in terms of health risks and things of that nature, then we could validly say that we deny this crematorium simply because it's an environmental issue. But based on the research and the data and everything, it's not an environmental issue. So I just want that to be clear in regards to everybody that's concerned in regards to it being an environmental issue. Since we don't have sufficient research or data to support that it's an environmental issue, everything that he's doing is legal.
Motion? Can we get a motion?
Hold on a second. I think the mayor got a call for the motion, but
Thank you, Alderman Jones. Is there a motion?
I move that we grant the variance on behalf of Serenity Funeral Home for a crematory.
All right, is there a second? Is there a second?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me see this. You don't let him go. Now listen, I know that.
I can barely hear you.
I got you. I have to be a voice for my ward, stick with my people, but when we have exhausted all that we could do, we have stood, we have voiced our opinions, we have said what we had to say, we voiced our concerns. But according to our attorney, the paperwork is legal, everything around it is legal. Even though may approve a variance tonight, it still has to go through MDEQ regulations, which is a state regulation.
correct.
So, I mean, whoops. I'll second.
Mayor?
You have a motion and a
I'm
second.
whooped, Mayor, whooped.
Okay, it was moved by Alderman Jones, second by Alderman Felton. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, motion passes. 2 ayes, 1 nay, and Chip, and 2 absent, and Meriwether and Teal. All right, thank you all. Item number 6, motion to authorize, Chief Rodney Crane, Assistant Chief
Take care.
Jay
All right, take care.
Weeks to attend the Mississippi Fire Department.
Okay, I will.
And August 26th to the 28th, 2025. Include registration fee of $255
Let's be quiet, y'all. We're still in meeting.
Is there a motion?
May I make that motion?
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Jones, second.
Thank you. Move for Alderman Sampson, second for Alderman Jones. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes 3 ayes, no nays, 2 absent in Hill and Meriwether. Item number 7, motion to authorize municipal court clerk and Sergeant Marsh to attend the Municipal Court Clerks Association Annual Summer Conference, July 23rd through the 24th, 2025, in Biloxi, Mississippi, to include registration fee of $50 plus hotel and per diem. Is there a motion for item number 7?
I move.
All right, is that Jones or Schiff?
Jones.
All right, Jones, is there a second?
The ship.
All right, the move by Alderman Jones, second by Alderman Schiff, all those in favor? All right, motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent, in Teal and Meriwether. Item number 8, city general bills and claims.
I move that we pay city general bill and claims.
It's been moved by Alderman Schiff, second by, who's that?
Alderman Fountain.
Second by Alderman Hampton, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent in Teal and Meriwether. Item number 9, city utility bills and claims.
I move that we pay the city utility bill and claims.
It's been moved by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Fountain. All those in favor? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent in Teal and Meriwether. Item number 10, motion to authorize payment of $45,000 to Killing Contractors Incorporated. This is for that MDOT HSUG power pole relocation.
I move to authorize a payment of $45,000 to Killing Contractors Inc. In reference to the HSUG power relocation.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
It's a move by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Jones. All those in favor? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent in Teal and Meriwether. Item number 11 is the ratification of Alderman at large Schiff signing the employee travel checks. And I apologize for not having more details with that. Except for Mr. Jones was not in the area or not available, or at least they were not able to locate him, and so Alderman Schiff was kind enough to sign them. All right, is there a motion? Is there a motion?
I'll move.
It's removed by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Fountain. All those in favor?
Jones, second by
Mayor, Alderman Jones, needs to step out and go to a recess.
I'm hanging on. All right, we'll take a brief recess. How about we try 2 minutes?
What number we're on? 12, okay,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Okay, 3 ayes.
Y'all would have
Okay, so now,
a real lawsuit.
all right, let's take a brief recess.
Yes, ma'am.
No lawsuit.
All right. Thank you all. Give us 2 minutes.
No, I said no lawsuit.
We're now in recess.
So that's, so we're doing all right. That's what I think, but yeah. Oh, no.
I can go.
Is that what you want to hear?
What is so nasty?
Back.
Okay, wonderful. All right, the meeting is called back to order. Item number 12, motion to appoint Mr. B. Sims and Ms. Patricia Glover Johnson as municipal election commission. And Ms. Jones, city clerk, will explain, if you have any questions. Is there a motion? Hello?
I move
Is there a motion?
Alderman Fountain.
to appoint Ms. Sharice Sims and Ms. Patricia Glover Johnson as municipal election commissioners.
I'll second.
So move by Alderman Fountain, second by Alderman Schiff. All those in favor? Motion passes 3 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent in Teal and Merriweather. All right, item number 13, motion to reappoint Mr. Lemon Phelps as Holly Springs School District Board member.
I gladly make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
All right, is there a second?
Alderman Jones.
So move by Alderman Fountain, second by Alderman Jones. All those in favor? All right, motion passes 3 ayes, 0 nays, and 2 absent in Teal and Merriweather. All right, item number 14, and this probably, I'm gonna hold this till we get to the end because, need to ask, Attorney Perry some matters. Item number 15, motion to appoint and hire Mr. Quadrick Harris in the position of animal control officer at a rate of $15.50 per hour.
I move to hire for Mr. Quadrick Harris, position of animal control officer at rate of pay of $15.55.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Oh, excuse me. He has CDLs now. So it's actually going to be at $16 an hour. Please take your motion for me, please, Alderman Schiff.
No, ma'am.
Mayor, Mayor said he won't be driving any heavy equipment, so that's not related specifically to the job duty, so they're gonna like to keep it at 15.
All right, okay, $15.50. All right, Alderman Schiff moved. Is there a second?
Alderman Jones.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3 ayes, 0 nays, and 2 absent in Teal and Merriweather. Item number 16, motion to appoint and hire Mr. Antonio Jackson as part-time fireman at a rate of $12 per hour, Holly Springs Fire Department.
Mr. Antonio is here.
Mr. Jackson is here.
Okay, all right. So do you all have any questions for Mr. Jackson, or is there a motion?
I move.
All right, Mr. Alderman Jones, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Schiff. All those in favor? Motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent, and Teal and Merriweather. All right, item number 17, motion to appoint hire Mr. Margio Austin, part-time in the Parks and Recreation Department at a rate of $15.50 per hour.
And Mr. Austin is here as well.
All right, do I have any questions for Mr. Austin? All right, is there a motion?
I so move. Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Schiff, second by Alderman Jones. All those in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes, 0 nays, 2 absent, and Teal and Merriweather. All right, item number 18, motion to approve the December 26, 2024 special call meeting minutes and also the January 7, 2025 regular board meeting minutes.
I move.
There a motion?
I move to approve the December 26, 2024 special call meeting minutes and January 7, 2025 regular board meeting minutes.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman Fountain, second by Alderman Schiff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes, 3 ayes, 0 nays. All right, now item number 14, motion to authorize settlement of first matter with Mr. Jimmy Young, due to, an error. And, so Attorney Perry, did you look at this or what, or do, no, sir?
I said, I looked at it and I placed a call with, I can't think of the gentleman's name with PERS, but Mr. Evans, Edwards.
David.
That's it, David Edwards. David Evans, I'm sorry. But I left a message with him. Usually the the call back time is pretty fast. But I left that message this afternoon and I just hadn't heard back yet. I would prefer if we could just at the next meeting being able to address it more thoroughly. The issue that I have is making an in-kind type of a gift or the interpretation
What did you
that.
say, Attorney Perry? I couldn't understand you.
Oh, I'm sorry. My issue is whether or not I think that the statute indicates that if there is an error or what have you, that the city can pay the interest part versus the actual a contribution that would reflect that time for which it was not being paid or his portion of the contribution. I need to talk with the gentleman from PERS about that interpretation. And I would just like to have a meeting in order to see if there's a way to, or see if his interpretation of it is accurate as reflected in the letter. And I can report to the board a little bit better if I talk to him.
Okay, when you report, let me know that as well prior to the next meeting so that, Mr. Young will know, so that he will know what actions he, needs to take as well. Now, there is another part to this that I believe Ms. Jones has that second part, that we do need to go ahead and get the authority for that tonight so that the city can pay its part. That we do know.
That's the interest portion.
To see how we deal with that.
The city, okay, I don't have an issue with that.
That would be the city's portion, and the city portion is $44,365.62.
All right. Is there a motion to authorize the payment to PERS, for the city portion regarding employee Jimmy Young, in the amount of, repeat that amount, Ms. Jones?
Gonna be $44,365.62.
Plus the interest that may occur since you
No,
received this.
It's two different questions. One is on the city portion, the other is relates to his portion. Now, I don't have an issue if you're comfortable with it as well, on the doing the interest with that as well. Yeah. So Ms. Mayor, on the interest part of it, I think that the city can go ahead and vote on that as well right now. The only outstanding question I have is contributing his portion. So the way that I interpret the letter and the statute is that if there's whatever the interest is, that the city can do that part. That should have, the interest that should have been accumulating during that time, I think it's 7,000 some odd dollars. You can vote on that as well if it's your pleasure.
I do have, I have a lot of concerns regarding this based on the employee being placed in this predicament. I know we have to follow, the statute as to what it says and what those rules say. So we do need to look at it very closely, especially as it relates, to this, employee. So I don't have a problem. I think that perhaps I'd rather we do all of that part at the same time at the next meeting and go ahead and do this share that we know that's on the city side. Because the interest will continue to grow on the other, so that's why I think it would be more appropriate if we do all of that, that's the employees' portion, so to speak, that we do that all at one time, so that we can make sure that we have it accurate when we do it.
Fine with it. Whatever's pleasure for.
So, is there a motion for authorizing the payment of the city side first? Is there a motion? Is there a motion?
I'm going to just say, Mayor, that we should probably hold it to the next meeting, get a good, clear understanding on what all is going on here with both of these issues at one time.
Okay, so I thought you all had discussed it at a prior meeting during an executive session. Was my understanding of it, but that's fine. We can hold both of them. We do need to close it out because we are definitely, affecting, the employee at this time.
Right.
As well as the interest is continuing to accrue. So we'll put it back on the next agenda and hopefully at that point in time, we will have received some information back prior to that next meeting. Okay, all right, so we'll hold item number 14. Ms. Jones, just remind me to make sure that that's on the next agenda for both portions.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, and so according to my list, those are all of our action items. And, appreciate everyone coming out. I am going to depart and take some Mucinex. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Huh?
It's just poll.
We have a few more items.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
Poll them on
That's
shoot 'em
fine.
home,
I'm
but
gonna
it's
do-
not poll.
Okay, all right, well, I've got to check out.
You told me
See
that.
how long, as long as I put it.
You already heard.
So I pass the gavel to, Alderman, Chip. I have the fluid, so I just wanted to say as long as I could.
Yeah, they're gonna go ahead and adjourn.
We'll help them, yeah.
Oh, okay, is there a motion?
She do.
A motion?
I move that we adjourn.
Okay, is there a second?
Yeah, I think the quorum will still be there, even if you're, even if
Is
you're
there a
chanting,
second?
if y'all wanna adjourn, you can. Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that. We'll adjourn it and, I mean, yeah.
You done took your action.
To adjourn, yeah.
All right, a second?
I'm just saying.
Who seconded?
Yeah.
All right.
But you got some. You got some. Oh.
Well, because previously, when I was in a similar situation, Attorney Perry said we could not continue the conversation. So you're expressing that tonight, his, direction is that they should continue.
When you said, yeah.
He said he was fine with them adjourning.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I understood.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Mayor.
Stop.
I don't even know.
Well, it's not a second, so we have.
We will be. Just give it a minute. They want to make sure that.
What's going on?
Hey, I'm about to get with you, man, because I want to figure out what's the legal.
Do you have anything before the board?
Today,
Mr. Jones?
About like all the sports, where the coach down, so when nobody may come back and see the city. I don't know what they got going.
let's sit down and get it. Hold up.
Oh, I was about to say, so the meeting's still going, no, no,
There was no second.
no second, okay.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'll make this quick. There's four things immediately as far as training is concerned, in the packet for, water certification for, two employees.
Why is not on the agenda?
You want to look?
Pardon?
What did you say?
I'm trying to figure out why it's not on the agenda like all those trainings.
I sent a request in for it to be on the agenda.
Who did you send a request to?
Renetta Mason sent a request in for me. She sends it to the mayor.
That's your secretary, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
She said to you and the mayor, and it's just not on the agenda. That's really.
Okay, so the
Well, these for Eddie Jefferson. That's what you're talking about?
yeah,
Eddie
one's for
Jefferson?
Eddie Jefferson and one is for Mr. Schuler. I'm sorry, Mr. Herschel, Mr. Herschel Clayton. This is to attend the Mississippi water certification class in Senatobia, April 7th through April 10th. The total cost is $275 and $385. I had it written down here, 600 and yeah, $660. And this is this certification is so that they have their certification as far as the water testing is concerned, so that they can do the testing of the water that we need.
I move that we, authorize Eddie Jefferson and Herschel Clayton to attend Mississippi Water Certification Class April 10th, 2025 in Senatobia, Mississippi, for a total cost of $660.
I second.
All right, then move to properly second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed have the same right.
Next item on that is the public awareness program. This is a request from the Mr. Tracy Reynolds for the PSC for the gas. They request that, well, it's actually required that we send this survey out to the public, and that that the survey, the public have the opportunity to fill this survey out, and it's going to cost us with CSE&G. I got a quote for $660 to include this survey with our bill, the HSUD bill, so that the public can get this survey. This is a requirement from this is a PSC survey that's required.
So ain't no way we can do that electronic.
I mean, it is. How we going? We have to get it to them, and so we get it to them by including it in the bill.
No, I'm saying, is it a way that they can do it electronically,
Like
especially
online,
like online?
like a link.
Is this something that they gotta fill out and mail back?
Yes, it is.
You're not gonna get much of it.
It's,
But the requirement
it's
is that you send
required,
it
it's
out.
required that we send it out. That's what,
Where is
I
it
They
do
it
it
all
every
the time.
year,
You
PSC.
can
yeah,
send
yeah.
it, receive it.
Uh,
I move that, I make the motion. I make a motion for the public awareness meeting, insert for the HSUD TVA bill for public service commission awareness program to be granted in the amount of the million Thompson.
Second. I've been moved by Alderman Thompson, second by Alderman Jones, all in favor? All opposed have the same right? Ayes have it, motion carried. Yeah, yes.
Okay, next on the agenda here is a quote from the Access Control Edition for Maine Utility Office. Okay, this is a Memphis Communications Corporation. When you come into the utility department through the front door, if you walk through the engineering side, there is no security door there. There is nothing stopping anybody from just walking right through the door. And so this is a quote to have a security door inside the building so that people have to either push a button or be buzzed in or have an ID card to get through that door. Because right now, people just walk through the door and anybody has access to it. So this is what this quote is for. It's $660, $6,600 roughly.
We'll take it under consideration.
Okay.
And what's the purpose of it?
Pardon me?
What's the purpose?
Security, safety. People just walk through the door. I mean, the employees have asked me for it.
But it's a public bill, public business, use constituents, supplying services to.
Right? Yeah, and they come through one side and you talk to people through through the glass. Okay, when you come that way. But if you walk to your right, no, your left when you come in, you can just walk right through the doors and right in anybody's office.
Are you talking about where they do the?
Where Mr. Humphrey sits at, where the telephone operators sit at, where Miss Faulkner sits at back there.
You may want to try something alternative. You may want to take alternative method as opposed to that. Now, if there's something, maybe you want to do like, don't you guys got key card entries or something?
Yeah, but not at that door.
So if there's something that you probably won't consider, as opposed to a buzzing. Because if you're saying this is just for authorized personnel only, just do a buzzing, a card where they come and just scan in order to get in.
Okay, I mean, that's just.
Do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm saying, I understand
Because if they, right, and then, I guess, I don't know, how you guys will conduct the business on that side, because it appears that you don't want customers to have direct access to that side, and if that's the case, do an authorized personnel only where they got a key card and they just scan in, and then I'm certain, if it's so limited as you're letting me know or telling us, that they'll know if somebody is coming for them. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So that's what I would consider as opposed to.
Downstairs, we had them added to the city clerk's office. This is the key card.
Right.
We used to have just regular doors, but we had to get a mechanism where we was and putting in a code. So in our doors were older, like the one we got.
Okay.
And it's cheap.
Right.
And does anybody have any questions for me?
Right now, thank you.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
Yeah, I just wanted to come to you guys about getting full access to the calendar for the multipurpose building to kind of take the pressure off Sheriff and the mayor, because there's been a lot of confusion back and forth with that. Me and the mayor spoke about it, but she stated that she's trying to get something where we'll both have access to it. But some people call me trying to book the building, some people calling Jerick and all of that. So I just want to have full access to kind of take that pressure off of them.
I understand what you're saying, but that's gonna be an executive decision, but I will make a suggestion, just like we just made with Mr. Jones. Why don't you try to,
Okay.
both of y'all do something electronically, everybody put it in on the computer where you have access, she have access, they have access,
That's what Janelle was trying to get.
and it doesn't cross. That would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Maybe you got a template.
Okay, got it. But I'm still,
Outlook on Saturday.
yeah, Outlook, yeah.
So, you guys can share a calendar and Outlook in regards to that. So who's currently receiving, the requests for?
The guys will go, Jerick.
To the clerk's office? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I guess the process maybe could be clarified a little bit more. I would definitely say I would keep the money collected side on the clerk side, but in regards to taking the actual request, I don't see any issue with the director taking it. But I don't determine procedures, simply because, there's, it falls under the mayor's discretion or the procedure and process.
As another suggestion, once you do get the digital calendar, you also can present the upcoming events for us and the public. The aldermen, the public, the youth, the mayor, everybody will be on board where we can promote events that are happening at the multi-purpose building. But right now, we're limited because it's on a paper calendar and it's locked in. But if you do the digital calendar, then you have, everybody can have access and we'll be able to promote and see what the upcoming events you have planned. I agree with you.
Okay. And I'm still waiting. They stated this week they'll give me the computer, but I still haven't had no computer, so. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Good evening. I just got a couple of quick items that I got with the mayor on that didn't get put on the agenda. I guess maybe I sent it to her later or whatever on Friday, and one of them was we're asking for permission to apply for a grant as far as the bulletproof vest for the officers. Because the vests that we got now, they're over 5 years old, and that's the lifespan of the vest. It's 5 years. And when we have to purchase those vests cost about $700 per vest, and that's putting a strain on our budget. So if we can get permission to apply for the grant.
Who's applying for
City Hospital.
Yes.
We will still follow the. But you have to get with.
That's right.
We can't grant permission.
Oh, okay.
Mayor will bring it to the board. If that's
Okay. So I have to wait till the next
Bring it to the mayor.
Okay. I know that just opened up this week or whatever. Okay.
Do we have a recommendation to promote your plan?
You gotta have to, the permission from if you think it's something that you're interested in and as far as the process on it, I'm assuming that there wouldn't be an issue trying to gather the information and starting the grant writing, if it's or writing the application for it. But I would reach out and speak to the mayor regarding it and let her know. That way, the submission of it though has to get permission from the board, which will come from the mayor.
Oh, okay.
So you can work on the drafting of it.
All right. Okay. And the next item that I had, though the board approved it several months ago on Detective Bobo. When he went to patrol, he went to a hourly rate. But now since we hired the last two officers, He's back in detective as of last week. He's back in detective, so his pay should go back to a salary.
Do we have to do a motion on that? We do a transfer? Or we just move?
His title has changed, right? His actual, his,
His
it,
title
it,
didn't change. His title didn't change, they just took him from being salary to hourly for him to get overtime, when he was doing the police work.
Yes.
And more of the patrol work, now he's being detective, working that Monday to Friday, 8 to 5.
And the
Yes.
board did the motion for him to get overtime.
Yes.
We got reversed.
If this.
and do that, I need
Oh, I
to,
like me.
I need to review that, because I don't know if that's as clean as it needs to. Yeah, okay, all right,
Well, I see the motion that's made.
I got you.
So what y'all saying? You need to what now?
Yeah, okay, I want to research that a little bit. All right.
Okay. That's all. That's all I
Thank you.
All right.
What department here before we proceed to adjourn? Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Y'all gonna let me move? I'll move. No, yeah. Unless y'all, is there any?
Been moved by Alderman Jones, second by Alderwoman Fountain. We adjourn, all in favor? All opposed? Yeah. Motion carries.